that.
Well, let's break this down. Joseph, let me turn to you. The idea that this is a scorned man, Chad Cobb, wanted to turn on his former wife because, as we just heard, she had moved Mike Stefanko into her house, had a baby with him, and now all of a sudden, Chad Cobb's mother has this secret recording that she, basically locked up for several years, and then eventually it was going to come out. So, speak to us about what you think about the motivation here for Chad Cobb to come forward and whether or not it's all credible or not.
Yeah, the government's going to say that the motivation or why he changed his mind as late as he did was because his wife heard him when she got with his best friend, or at least former boss, and not only hooked up with him and then married him, but also now has fathered a child. So therefore, now he's a scorned lover and he's going to pay her back. And that's why he's come forward. Here's where that plan doesn't really work for me. And it's this reason. If you're her and you are grateful for the fact that your husband has now gone to prison for the rest of his life, and he is somehow with you in committing this murder, who's going to be dumb enough to say, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to get with your boss and your former best friend. I'm going to sleep with him, and then we're going to have an affair, and then we're going to fall in love, and then we're going to move in together, and they're going to have a baby, and somehow you're going to be good with it. Come on, man. That defies common sense. She's not going to go through all that because she has got to protect that relationship with her husband who's still in prison, because otherwise he'll do just what he's doing now, and that is rat her out. She's not going to do that. All this is really going on is it shows even more about how rotten Cobb can be. And this whole thing that he didn't cut a rat deal, because that's what the government's saying now. What you're going to find out is they don't have a deal now. They're just going to say, if you testify for us, we're going to come back, months later, and you're going to get some sentencing considerations. They just don't have a written deal so they can say that. This is what you call a government scam.
I want to get into that. Let's see if we can jump back live for a second, see what's going on in court. And I want to talk to you again about that, Joseph. Okay, so I think there's an issue going on in court. Let me stick with you for a second, Joseph, on that. This guy confessed to murdering another human being. He can get favorable treatment. Now, we know that his original deal was to take the death penalty off the table. And as a part of that original deal, he didn't testify, didn't say anything about Erica Stefanko, or Erica Lyons at the time. So the question is really, could the confessed killer, the person who actually strangled Ashley Biggs to death, get favorable treatment because he's now turning on Erica Stefanko? Who matters more here? Who matters in this case?
You bet he could. Here's why. At his parole hearing, those hearings are controlled by the power structure, the government, the police, this guy on the stand who says he didn't know OJ was found innocent. They're going to go to that parole hearing and they're going to say, you know what? This guy really came forward and he's really rehabilitated because he helped us and he did the right thing. So instead of giving him 25 to life, let him get out of here after 20, which he'll still be young enough to go and have some kind of a life left. You bet there's a lot of incentive to get out of there, and you bet that they'll do it because now they get to get another murder case, especially now that's on TV. And let me tell you, that's a big deal for the government. These prosecutors almost always have an agenda. You either become a judge, which most of them do. Most of the judges are all former prosecutors, by the way, or to become the head DA, which is a political position. There's a lot of incentive to want to win.
Something to think about. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more.